Hi, cutie pies. I'm Lanikia, and you're watching What Happened on the Soaps. This is the Young and the Restless edition for April the 13th, 2022. It is a Wednesday. The week is going so fast. All right, so let's just hop right on into this. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe to the channel. Also, I do have work from home videos on this channel, so you can check those out. And they are legitimate work from home jobs. Like, yeah. Anyways, so let's get into it. What happened on the soaps, Young and the Restless? Okay, so we see Victoria, Nikki, Nick, and Victor are still talking. And Victoria's getting all upset because she said, it feels like y'all don't trust my judgment. Well, girl, I mean, what do you expect them to say? You were the one who brought Ashlyn in because you were so in love with him, and your choices and men have not been the best. Now, I'm not judging because other people's choices on in that sitting in that same room have not been the best as well. But she won't, it's like she won't take ownership of her mistakes in bringing him in, and she has this plan, but the plan is falling apart because he don't want to do it. Ashley doesn't want to do it. I don't know if he's just in love with Victoria and that's why he doesn't want to do it, or if it's just too much. Like, it can't be that it's just too much work. I don't know why Ashley doesn't want to do this, but he doesn't want to. He just wants to go away and start over because he's like, listen, this might not be the fight I want to get into. Like, this might cause too much damage to my reputation. I could go somewhere else and start over. That's what I think I want to do. But they keep asking Victoria, are you still in love with Ashton? And I'm like, that's not fair to ask her that, because yes, he said all this stuff to her, like he's done all this stuff and to her, he's tricked her, he's lied to her and everything, but your feelings just don't cut off like that. And for some people they do, but for Victoria they don't, because a part of her still wants to believe that he really didn't play her like this, but he did, girl. But a part of her wants to believe that he really did not play her like this. So I can't be mad at her for not wanting to believe that Ashlyn, for wanting to believe that Ashlyn didn't lie to her. I can't be mad at her for that. So then we see that she just tells them, y'all getting on my nerves, and Victor just give her a hard truth. He was just like, listen, Ashton don't love you. Like, I don't know what you trying to play on like that. Oh, because he doesn't want to do the plan and he doesn't want to forge all this information and drag me into it. He has to care for me. And she was like, is that so hard to believe because you feel like that with mom? And he was like, yes, but we're completely different. Ashley is a narcissist, because if he was a man, he would have told you before you married him the type of, who he really was. And before you made him co-CEO, he knows he lied about this, but he still allowed you to make him co-CEO. He didn't have to do that, but he did. He was like, at the end of the day, he was going to get rid of you and go ahead and get what he wanted, which was control of the company, the merged company. Victoria didn't want to hear it or whatever, and she tells them, y'all are just getting on my nerves. I'm out. I need some time to think. So she leaves or whatever. So Nikki, Nick, and Victor talk, and they're just like, yeah, we might have been harder on her, but she needs to hear the cold hard facts, and it is what it is at this point. And so Nick says, I gotta go. So he leaves, and so that leaves Victor and Nikki in the CEO's office, Ashlyn and Victoria. So, okay, so then we go to Adam and Sally. First of all, Sally, what do you be wearing to the office? I like you, and she's a gorgeous girl, but what you got on? Like, you cannot wear that to an office. But she do. But anyways, they're at Sharon's place, and they're having I believe it's Sharon's. Yeah, they're having they're going there to get something to drink or whatever. But they ran into Ashlyn, and so we pick up where we left off, where Adam is offering Ashlyn 500,000 to leave the company, and Adam says, "Who? What authority did you have to ask? Offer me this?" Does Victor know? And he says, "Yes, Victor know." And he tries to get under Adam's skin. He says 500 million, not thousand. 500 million. Well, I find that amount strange because that's the amount that Abby, Victoria, and Nick got when they sued your father or whatever. I said, well, how much money does Victor have when they sued your father? And Adam said, that doesn't bother me. I wasn't part of that trust. He said, yeah, but your father could have still just gave it to you. He gave it to them. He ended up giving it to them or whatever. And, excuse me. And then we see where he tries to get under Adam's skin and says, "You'll always be the one outside. Daddy'll never see you the way he sees them." And Adam said, "My relationship with my father has nothing to do with this. Now, you could take this deal or not. You have 1 hour to decide." Now, this deal is not something that Victor has approved from Adam. And Ashlyn is just like, did your dad know you're offering me this? He said, that amount of money, you think he wouldn't know? And he was like, okay, well, I'm going to have to think about it. He says, you have 1 hour to think about it or whatever. And nice try, but you're not getting under my skin with it. And so he leaves. And so Sally says, you handled yourself really well. And he says, yeah. He said, but we'll just see if he takes the offer or whatever. So they're about to go have a seat, and they see Victoria, and Adam was like, let me go and holler at her real quick, because Victoria's went there for a cup of coffee. So Victoria goes in. Adam goes in and he talks to Victoria. He says, nobody's tried to put any fake information on my computer, so I'm assuming your plan has went wrong. And she says, yeah, there's been changes to the plan. But she won't tell Adam what it is. And so he's like, y'all can use me, do whatever you want to do with me, but you don't want to tell me any of the plans. Yeah, yeah, Adam. Like, at some point you're gonna have to just stop caring what they think about you. Stop begging to be a part of this family and do your own thing. And that's what I wish she would do. And so Adam is just like, you know, I you want to put me out there as the scapegoat, but you don't want to tell me a part of the plan. And he's like, why can't you just admit that your plan is messed up? And Adam and Ashlyn saw right through you. And she was like, Adam, you're always just going to be Adam, and you're never going to be anything else or more. And then she leaves with her little party remarks. And Adam goes and talks to Sally, and he says Victoria still won't admit that her plan is all messed up. And she says, okay, but what I wanted to ask you before you went and talked to Victoria is like, what's going to happen if your dad finds out that you made Ashley this offer? He said, one, if Ashley takes the offer, my dad will be happy. Two, if Ashland doesn't take the offer, my dad will never know. Well, too late on that, sir, because Ashland walked himself right on over to Victor, to his office, and Victor and Nikki are in there. And Ashland started talking about the plan or whatever. He said, that amount of money, Victor, that you offered me, well, I happen to know that you gave it to your other children. And why would you send your son over to offer me that amount of money knowing you won't give it to him, or, acknowledge him like your other kids and give it to him? And Victor said, my relationship with my son has nothing to do with you. And he said, oh, he's like, so you knew about the offer. And Victor said, that amount of money, why would I not? And he said, oh, Adam said the same thing. He was just like, so what you're telling me is, because for a minute, Ashlyn says, for a minute there, I didn't know that you knew what Adam had offered me or whatever. And Victor said, because he said you were hesitant. And Victor said, I was hesitant because I can't believe you have the gall to come in here and after we know what you've done. And so then Victoria comes into the room or whatever, and she's like, what's going on here? And they tell her, Ashlyn says, your father and Adam and perhaps your father have offered me money to walk away from you, from the company, for everything. Do you think I should take it, Victoria? It's a lot of money, 500 million to start a new life. Do you think I should take that? And so Victoria's there looking stuck. Girl, just go away with Ashlyn. At this point, just go away with Ashlyn and do your thing. So then we see, because I feel like Victoria feels like that. I don't know. I feel like Victoria will be okay with him doing her the way he's done her if he would just admit that he loved her, or he fell in love with her along the way, or whatever, or whatever. But anyways, so that was the end of the Newmans today. So then we go over to the Abbotts and Phyllis. So Jack drops Phyllis off at her home, and she's like, thank you for bringing me in. And he says, Billy contacts him and he says, I got to go in and inform them. And she was like, at the end of the day, Jack, let's not focus on Diane. Let's focus on you, how great it was for you to get to know Allie more and the relationship you're building with her. And he thanks Phyllis for being there for him through this whole thing. And she tells him, of course. And so he leaves because he's got to go meet up with the Abbotts, his brothers and sisters. And so Amanda comes in, and Amanda is gorgeous. Like, whoever is doing her makeup and hair and everything on this show, they are putting her together. But Amanda comes in, and she tells them that she tells Phyllis that she came there to see her, and Phyllis was like, "What's up? What you come to see?" And she says, "I came to see about this. Like I came by yesterday, and they said you were gone." And she said, "Yeah, I went to see Jack." And she said, "He told you to come?" And she was like, Phyllis just really popped up, but okay, we'll just say he asked her to come. But she said, Amanda's like, "Ooh, y'all relationships get deeper, and it's gonna. Like, was it a fun trip?" And Phyllis, she doesn't tell Amanda anything, but she said it was definitely not a fun trip. But our relationship, we're just friends. That's what he needs right now. She has to set Amanda straight that Jack just needs a friend. That's it. And I just need a friend, and that's it. We're nothing more, especially now because Phyllis is not finna go through Jack maybe fall, even though I don't think she thinks he will, but maybe falling for Diane, and then her and Diane playing tug of war over Jack. We are not about to sit through this again. And so Phyllis is just like, he needs a friend, I need a friend, and that's it. And Amanda said, "Well, at the end of the day, I feel like our relationship is going to be more if it's not hitting there anyways. But right now, I'll just be your friend. Let's go have a spa day." And she was like, "Okay, let's go do it." Well, at first Phyllis was like, "I got so much work." She said, "Did you expect to be back today?" And Phyllis was like, "No." She said, "So you still have a free day. Let's go ahead and enjoy the spa and everything." And Phyllis was like, "Okay." And so Amanda and Phyllis leave. And then here comes Diane coming in, checking in and talking about, I need to check in, and I'm going to be here for a while. Girl. So then we go over to Jack, and okay, so we see before he gets there, Ashley and Tracy. Tracy is waiting by the door, and Ashley comes downstairs, and she says, "Girl, this is just like you used to be when Daddy would come home, and you would be waiting for him for hours for him to come." And she said he would have presents, and it would be fun because it was just like we felt safe and everything when he was there. And here you are doing it with Jack. And she said, "I'm just so excited to hear about his trip with Allie. I feel like everything is working out for him and everything." And so Tracy said, "It's good to see like you're just still this caring person." And they hug and they wait at the door for Jack. So then Billy comes in, and Jack comes in, and he's like, "I have news for y'all." And so he tells them that, meeting with Allie was great. She reminds him a lot of Ashley. She's very um she's majoring in engineering. They already know that because Ashley scooped it out. He's like, but she's a thinker, and she likes to process. Her thoughts and process information and everything. So she reminds him a lot of Ashley, and so they're happy. They're like, "Oh my gosh, I'm so glad you got to, connect with her and everything." And so then he says, "Oh, but that wasn't all that happened." And he said, "What's going on? Because it seems like something else has went on, and you're not happy about it." And he says, "Okay, so I have to tell y'all that Diane Jenkins is still alive." And they said, "Excuse me?" And he said, "Yes, she's still alive." And they said, "No, no, no, Jack. I know you've been through a lot." They said the same thing Phyllis did. And he said, "Listen, I talked to her a few times. She is alive." And they was like, "What does this be one?" That's what Ashley said. And he was like, "She felt she was the mysterious texter, and that's who was doing it." And they was like, "Okay, so if she was doing that, it has to be for a reason." He said, "Because she connected me with Allie, she feels like that I should be able to connect her with Kyle." And they're all like, "So wait, she abandons him, makes him think she's dead. Now she pops up and wants to be a part of his life again. Jack, you can't let this happen." And he says, "I felt the same way." He said, "But Phyllis helped me." And they was like, "Phyllis was there?" And he was like, "Yeah, she came over to support me." And he was glad, and I'm glad that she was there. He said, "But she helped me know that, it's Kyle's decision whether he wants his mom in his life." And she helped him to see that, like, Diane is going to make these decisions whether he wants them or not. And the best thing to do is to have him him reach out to Kyle, because Diane was like this close to doing it herself. And they're like, "Okay, yeah, I see that," or whatever. But they were like, "We understand." He was like, "I understand, Ashley, why you don't like her." And Ashley was like, "Yeah, she slept with my fiance. She blackmailed me. Look what she did to my daughter." And she said, "Even Tracy, even you hate her." And Tracy was like, Tracy said, "She just takes pleasure in doing horrible things to people." And they were like, "Why is this woman back in the Abbott life?" And that's what it is. Diane wants back with the Abbotts. But they're just like, "We're just gonna play it by, be on the." Billy says, "We need to be on the defense. What plans do you have for Diane to keep her under control or whatever?" Because they say she cannot come here to stay. Like, she cannot come to Genoa City to stay. But too late, she's already there. Jack lets him know that he's already told Kyle to come in so he could try to break the news to him. And that's one thing Phyllis said, she can't even talk to Summer because she's afraid she might let something slip. But that was the Young and the Restless today, guys. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. And I will see you tomorrow for a new edition of What Happened on the Soap Young and the Restless. Have a great rest of your day.